All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's feeling sharp and recharged and ready to go. And yeah, looking forward to being back here a little bit this morning and getting after it with everybody here. So, just from like an operational perspective, right? Couple things. So, first day back after a little bit of time away from trading, just just 3 or 4 days in the market. So it's not going to be too rushed, right, to do anything silly or do anything crazy here this morning. Gonna focus on controlling the variables I can control. I'm going to focus on being, prepared, deliberate, right, diligent, and really just limit my like amount of dopamine here today. That's going to be my primary objective. I don't want to lose control effectively, right, over my trading here this morning. I want to be really focused, really sharp, and yeah, going from there. A lot of statements or questions about trade copiers. I think there's going to be um, uh, like some issues with the trade copiers, so I would be very, very careful with that here today, right? If there's a tech outage, don't expect them to do you right? Because you chose to ignore their warnings. So please, guys, if you are using copiers, please be very, very careful. Don't do anything stupid. And personally, I would recommend that you are very, very just careful with that. Other element here, right, is I am probably going to be, just like I said, really focusing on just managing my decisions here today, right? So first day back, little bit tired for sure. Got in quite late last night. Only got about 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep before stream starting here today. So I know that from like a default perspective, right? That's probably going to be a scenario where I am more likely to be like easily agitated, right, by the market, or to get annoyed, or to do whatever. And I want to make sure that I'm not then creating an emotional decision just because my flight was delayed last night, right? So be deliberate, right, with how we attack our psychology, I guess, and then hopefully things want to sync up from there. The other thing here, just before we get started, guys, is we got to use all the resources and tools in the Discord, please, right? I think there were 15 messages or 20 messages in the members chat or the various chats, let alone the countless DMs I got from people about the stream schedule. There's literally a Discord channel called Stream Schedule. It is telling you the time, right, that the stream is active. It is telling you the dates that the stream will not be on. And for whatever reason, it seems like a lot of people are refusing to use the resources and tools that are made available to them, and instead are committed to inconveniencing other people just because they're too lazy to click a second channel. It drives me insane with that. I don't understand how I can make these things more clear. So at some point, guys, we need to start just doing those things here and going through those resources, because there are no surprises here, right? Like everyone knew about this trip in July. So like there was so much heads up, there was so much all this kind of stuff always posted in that channel that we need to use it. It's the same thing with the DTR indicator. The solution for a problem that we had for 24 hours was fixed months ago, and yet every single day people refuse to just read the pinned messages and are looking for a more complicated solution to a problem that does not exist. So we need to make things a little bit easier for ourselves here, team, right? We need to control the variables we can't control just a little bit better, because it is, yeah, like it's infuriating to have to keep repeating myself to say, hey, check the stream schedule channel, or look at the pin message, or do XYZ, right? It's going to be faster for you to just do those things than to wait for someone to give you some magical solution or answer when you can just click the next channel and get the answer yourself. So at some point here, team, we need to be responsible for that. And at some point here, we need to understand that those types of comment statements are just going to get ignored, because it feels like I'm just enabling children by responding to each message with check the stream schedule, check the pin message, do whatever. So please behave like adults and use the resources that are available to you, because there is nothing that I do here that is like a surprise. So at some point here, guys, we got to sort that shit out. It is infuriating. All right. And breathe. So economic calendar here today. What the heck? So Cloudflare issues are going to be a bit annoying here today. We got factory orders at 10, builder confidence at 10, and then we got some Fed speak at 10:30. Fine. And then let's go from there. All right. So yes, red candle, decreasing volume, gap down. So 2 out of 3 there to the downside without volume. And so we're gonna get rid of this. Target here for the pre-market lows is going to be 66.30. I don't know if this was the faster way to do it, but it'll do. Okay. And then to the upside here, right? Pre-market high is going to be 67. Okay. Sweet. NQ. So similar story here, right? Red candle, decreasing volume, gap down. So 2 out of 3 to the downside without volume. Okay, we're looking at a 24,600 here, right, as our starting point. We somehow had mapped out from last week. And let's go 24,000. And then to the upside here, right, we're looking at 24,960. So we're just going to call it 25,000 on the dot. Round it up, nearest round number. And then again, we're going to go 800 points, so up towards 25.8. Okay, that's fine. Okay, looks good. Okay, inside bar, futures roll. I'm not going to deal with CL here today. All right, Apple, red candle, decreasing volume, gap up. So 1 for 3. Tesla, green candle, decreasing volume, gap down, 1 for 3. Microsoft, red candle, decreasing volume, gap down, 2 out of 3 to the downside. So it's 2 out of 3 to the downside without volume. kind of setting up maybe like a mean reversion kind of scenario. Amazon, red candle, increasing outlier volume gap down. We're going to call this a weak 3 for 3 there to the downside. And it's weak because of the candle shape, right? Candle shape looks more like a least bearish than a most bearish. Okay, AMD inside bar. NVIDIA inside bar. Meta inside bar. So a lot of consolidation there yesterday. Nice. Oh wow. Netflix split. Let's go. We'll leave this right until it adjusts. Generally, the day after corporate action, bit funky. Google red candle, increasing volume gap up. So 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. And then we've got old Vixaruni reading here, right, at 23.8. So decent amount of implied volatility out in store here today. Let's see basically how things kind of go or how things shape up or behave from there. Any questions here? How's everyone feeling? Everyone feeling okay? All right, amazing. So I'm just gonna go fill up my cup of coffee here, guys. Oh, John, I mean, it's all relative. Like I would say this is high on the VIX, right? Or this is higher on the VIX, or this is higher on the VIX. So I don't know. You could just look at a chart, to be honest, John. I'll be right back, guys. All right, we ready? So let's see what what kind of range we get in store here today, what type of volatility we get in store here today. You know, VIX reading of 23, should give us a pretty good opening size range, should give us a good amount of implied volatility here this morning. All right, so let's see how those things go. And we'll figure out what the market has in store for us here today. And again, guys, right? Just because, there may be a trade copier isn't working doesn't mean you can't trade. It just doesn't mean you have to trade copy, right? You can trade just one account. A really good opening range there on the 2-min time frame. Pretty good volume as well, right? Bigger volume than what we saw there yesterday. Pretty impressive there from a bull case scenario. It's looking a little bit maybe like a mean reversion type look. Yeah, very, very impressive. 133 points, maybe the biggest range I've seen in the last quarter or so. Might be the biggest opening range of the year, actually. Just trying to think back. Give or take. All right, let's see if we can get an increasing volume standard here on this second candle. That would be quite interesting here, potentially. 30 seconds-ish. Looks like it will do it or give it to us. So let's watch this carefully here. Okay. So there is NQ, right? There's the volume. Let's see how this thing closes. That's fine. Right? Not terrible. So our target here would be that red line of the indicator. And let's see if we can get like a little bearish failure here first, right? Prior to being aggressive. So some sort of fake out, right? Now, a bearish failure, guys, or whatever, it's more of like a philosophical type thing, right? Price can fail in multiple ways or multiple contexts, right? It can fail by a fake out under low. It can fail with a reversal in the middle of a confirmation. It could be a low vol pullback. It can be an inside bar. It can be 25,000 different things. So we're more looking at it from a philosophical perspective, right? If I see strong bears, what would weak bears look like, right? Or what would weak bulls look like, or whatever it is. And then basically looking to see the opposite of that, right? So I'm asking myself, okay, if bears failed in their attempts to reclaim control, what is the scenario, or what could that look like? And then, yeah, go from there. So for me, right, the easiest one is either like the elevator up, right, stairs down type thing. And we want to see that post fake out. I think that's probably the easiest thing. But a fake out's like a really ambiguous term in that context, right? Because you could argue it's a fake out here, it's a fake out here, it's a fake out here. So that's why you want to add then that secondary element, right, of watching. And then it's really just about making sure that we are, making decisions, right, where we have complete pieces of information. So something like an inside bar, right, after a high vol breakout, that's a good sign of bearish failure, right? Bears failed to reclaim the lows. They went lowest volume bar of the day. So philosophically, right, that candle tells us weak bears. That's a good thing. That's something that we'd like to see, right, if our idea is correct. And now we want to see some sort of reaction, I guess, if you want to call it that, from price action to give us a little bit of that strength. So nothing there, right? On NQ, higher high, higher low. So it doesn't quite change my thesis here yet. Same thing on ES. Now, the difference between ES and NQ, right? ES has increasing volume there on that second candle, or sorry, doesn't have increasing volume there on that second candle, while NQ does. So still the better setup for now. Yeah, it's still not a super great reaction. Double inside bar post really big open is, I think, a little bit of a surprise. Right? We got an inside bar and then an inside bar of the inside bar. So it's not to say that our thesis is dead. That's not quite the case. But then on the flip side, right, we're saying, like, what would weak bears look like? We're also kind of asking ourselves, what would weak bulls look like, right? And the characteristic of weak bullish price action is the price doesn't move when you expect it to. So, like, the longer it takes for a thesis to come together, you know, maybe the weaker that thesis is. Type scenario, right? So I think it requires a little bit of patience. Even though the range is exceptionally large, it's now been more consolidation than breakout. And that does maybe slow me down here just an incy little bit. Just as a reminder here, guys, right? I'm never gonna message you or contact you from a second Discord username, especially one pretending to either offer copy trading services or trade for you services or trading crypto or FX. Discord is full of piece of shit scammers who will try to take your money. So I will never ask to trade your capital. I will never ask for you to send me any crypto. I will never do any of those things. So please be aware that these scumbags exist and they are desperate to take your money. Uh, in general, the amount of scammers that are on Discord makes the platform incredibly uninteresting. So maybe at some point here, we're going to have to find an alternative to host this community on. We'll see. Not really. We can't really call this a failed breakout. So this increasing bearish volume There's nothing I can do with that information here yet, right? I don't have an active setup trigger where this would be an appropriate volume profile. If we had like a failed breakout above that 835, cool, but I don't have that. So I can't look at this as a like failed breakout, mean reversion type setup, right? So no downside scenario here yet. Same thing with ES, right? We're still basically using this 932 candle as our confirmation, and we're looking for some sort of indication of a bearish failure or some sort of indication that we've invalidated that candle. Make sense? Yeah. Maybe here we have a chance right now for a breakout scenario. But we need it to hold under 62. Otherwise, that looks a little bit like a fake out. Let's see. Closed right at the previous confirmation candle low, which I think is a bit funky. So I'm just going to pass on that burden of confirmation here till the 3-min time frame. This might be able to give me a more clear indication of what the mood here is, I guess, if you want to call it that. Okay, 10 seconds here. Let's see how this closes. Needs to close under that green box, right? So it needs to close outside of it. Looks like it will. Okay, beautiful. And now we're looking for, again, now a bullish failure, right? We want to see the other side of this trade fail, either some sort of fake out, right? Like we maybe are potentially experiencing here, or some sort of potential rejection reversal. That's a very quick little bounce back up to 700. So again, maybe not a tremendous amount of evidence that bears are particularly strong if they fail through that quickly, right? That's a pretty nasty little rip. And now we're back looking at possible reversals here to the upsides, or I guess within context, right? It would be, here's your setup candle, right? / confirmation. Here's your basically fake out. And then we'd be looking potentially now for an entry. So let's see how this thing closes. Not a terrible close. Yeah, Mark. So if you pay attention, right, I just described my setup that I was looking at there. We are looking at a trade here to the upside. So please pay attention, guys. I'm talking through all my thoughts at every given moment. I will do my very best to make it as clear as I possibly can over what I'm trading, how I'm going to be trading, what it is, until I have a market that I think is more tradable than I have right now. I will keep just describing what my thought process is. And if you missed the description, well, I'm sorry, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job here being pretty clear over what I'm looking at. So please pay attention here, guys. Thanks, Rusty. Okay, back to looking at a possible downside rip. We have that fake out here pretty aggressively now. So let's see if we can get this thing to close with some strength. We have about 20 seconds here left on this candle. Okay, good close. So we're looking for a entry here potentially now to the downside. So profit target would be 24,400, probably pretty aggressive, right, from that context. And now we're looking for things to tighten up. Now, what's going to be potentially the most challenging element of today's price action is because of the volatility and the size of the candles that we've had so far here today, we're probably going to be looking at larger risk profiles, right? So it's going to be really hard for us to get those 5-point stop losses or those 3-point stop losses. And we're more likely going to get a lot of stuff that's like 25 points or 15 points or whatever it is, right? So want to be really patient here, looking for our entries. Although the ranges have been pretty good, it's been a relatively choppy start here to this session. And so we don't want to trick ourselves into thinking that just because it's a big range that it's going to run right away in my direction or another direction or whatever it might be. I still want to really focus on creating those opportunities where I have asymmetric P&L upside, right? If we compromise and we skip steps and we chase price action because we think we're going to miss the move or whatever it is or whatever like bullshit FOMO excuse we like to give ourselves, we're just going to set ourselves up to lose more money when we're wrong and make less money when we're right. And that is the complete opposite of the asymmetric P&L upside that we look to create for ourselves or use the math behind my trading system to create, right? So we don't need to chase anything. We don't need to rush into any decisions here. We don't need to compromise any rules or processes or techniques. And instead, we can just try to find the easiest move of the day, right? That is our priority. Again, still no chance really for an entry here yet. Because for me to take this trade, I would have been looking at, 60 points of risk, $1,200 per contract. And that exceeds my max loss number by many multiples. So not in a rush to make that type of decision. So again, waiting for things to tighten up, waiting for things to get a little bit more like settled in almost to a certain extent. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but looking for things to be a little bit smoother maybe off this price action. Yep. News at 10. Again, that candle is fine. So for now, it would be something like this. I don't have a reference price drawn out, so nothing changes. It's effectively going to be the same, Eric, right? The 5-min and the 3-min are effectively going to be the same. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're looking for now 645 type stop loss. And I'd want my reference price to be about that area, right? 630-ish. So that's 15 points. That's a one contract play if it does come up. Okay, now we're going to switch to the 2-min because we might be able to get a tighter risk reward. And again, this is a setup here to the downside. Now stop loss would be 607. Reference price, I'll try to get it like 597, right? And then like we talked about before I left, right? When we have everything set up here inside our reference price, we want to split up that zone into like 3 areas, right? So first third here, we'll say to 200. We're basically sandy checking, making sure that price action isn't moving too fast. Second third, right, we're kind of looking for our entry sweet spot. And then the final third, right, we're probably thinking, hey, this might be not behaving how we expect. So let's get everything set up here. And let's see. So we're looking at a 608 stop loss, 24608. Okay, let's see. Yeah, too fast, right? There's way too fast. So really good decision so far. Now stop loss would be 612. That little fake out again, right? Just giving yourself that extra little sanity check, right? To wait inside that third, saved you some money there. So everything we do, well, not everything, but a lot of what we do here, right, once we have a setup is to basically force ourselves to slow down so that we're not making emotionally driven or impulsive decisions. Now we're looking at a 590 stop loss, right? Reference price, we'll call it 81. Again, same thing, right? First, third, slow. Second, third, right? We want it to behave. That's a little bit better. Now you're looking at a 599 stop loss. Again, moving so fast, though, that it's hard to think that I actually have a consistent bit of price action here yet. We have 6 minutes till noon, so we still have plenty of time. Yeah, pretty impressive volume so far. So now, right, I would make this more conservative and just reset, right, if it doesn't give me the exact look that I'm going for. Even though I've had the directional bias here correct, on every entry that I could have potentially gotten or chased, I would have been stopped out on here so far this morning. So cool, right? We can say that we have the bias, right? But execution-wise, this is still a very challenging market, or one that doesn't or isn't giving us a particularly easy move here yet this AM. So there is no rush to make a dumb decision and to cost myself money. We've got more than enough volatility. We're going to get another setup, I'm sure. So we be very, very patient here, guys, right? The objective is to be deliberate, not to be greedy. Okay, another solid close. Okay, so that'd be a 570 stop loss for now. We got still a bit of time here before the market data, so I'm not too worried. I'm also not like too fussed about Today's the 18th, right? I'm not too fussed about the housing data. The factory orders, meh. I'm not too worried about the housing data. Again, I have no reference price drawn inside my zone, so I'm not looking at an entry here yet. Get rid of this. Okay, we'd be looking at a 588 stop loss. So just as this thing is going, I'm adjusting my order windows, right, to make my life easier for me if something does set up. But she's maybe being a little bit of a stubborn prick here so far. Okay, lower low, lower high, decreasing volume. So we're still in play here. Now we're looking at a 590 stop loss. And I would say reference price like around that area. And so again, same thing, right? We want to split it up into 3 zones. First one, we want to make sure it's moving slowly. Second one, we want to find our ideal, hopefully entry. And then third one, if we don't see it pull back in there, right, to sit out. We're now going to be also within a minute of market data. So I might just wait this thing out. It's not giving me an easy entry here yet. We remain disciplined, guys. Just because the market is moving fast and there's big ranges doesn't mean we have to chase it and be in a rush to get stopped out, right? Like, we don't trade because the market is volatile. We trade because the setup follows all of our execution rules. So don't trick yourself into thinking otherwise. Okay, 10 seconds. Let's see. Okay, fine. Big reaction to the data. Guys, we're looking at a 552.50 as our stop loss. We'll call it 553. Okay, so watching here carefully. Too fast. I'm gonna wait. Okay, better. So now we're looking 557 again, right? If I would have rushed that entry, I would have just been stopped out before this made its new lower low. We have not missed out on anything here yet, guys, right? Do not trick yourself into thinking that you would have made money here yet. The only way I would have made money here so far is if I would have broken my stop loss rules, which is not a very sustainable way of making money long term. Don't trick yourself into thinking that would have been the case. And yes, the ranges are good. The volatility is excellent, right? There are big moves that are happening constantly here. So as much as that makes you feel as if you need to speed up and you need to rush things and you need to jump into action, it's actually the opposite, right? Because we've got really good volatility, because we've got big ranges, because we continue to see big volume, we should have a lot more confidence that we're going to have more setups, right? More opportunities, and we can afford to be patient. Okay, so now we're looking at a move towards 400 as our target here. Stop loss for now would be 501. And this thing is moving freaking fast without me, which is annoying, but I will not chase, right? Like generally, any time price action is making you feel an emotional reason to enter, i.e., I've got FOMO, I feel like I'm going to miss the move, whatever it is, usually bullshit, right? That's like just our brain trying to trick us into chasing something instead of actually doing what's most likely to make us profitable. So please, guys, don't do anything stupid. Okay, still have a good setup here. We're looking at a 481 stop loss now. 24,481. I'd say reference price, try to be about 70-ish, right? So about there. So let's see how this behaves. Not bad, actually. Okay, that was too fast. Let's see if it rejects or if this is the fake out before it flushes again. Now looking at an 82. Come on. It was a little bit infuriating. All right. So now we're looking 475. No chance. And again, right, we had our original stop loss set at 81. It would have stopped us out prior to making this flush. So again, guys, right, like we can lie to ourselves and say we would have made money on that sell-off chasing it. But the reality is that we would have been stopped out before this move actually goes lower. I don't need to chase something, right, that wants to wick me out. I can be deliberate and wait until it's absolutely perfect. If I have to start to compromise my entries just so that people feel like they're getting value out of their trial, I'm making bad trading decisions. So it's got to be perfect. And if it isn't, I'm not interested. Comprende? Yeah. Possibly look at something like this, right? For, call it 59 stop loss. Oh, higher now. Okay, so looking at a 480 stop loss. Okay, nope. Not enough volume to play that as a reversal. We wait. We have not, Kiki, absolutely have not missed out on anything. All we have done here is avoid our obvious mistakes. And that's a good thing, right? That is a positive. Arguably one of the hardest things to do as a trader is to avoid your obvious mistakes. So far, so good. I mean, a little bit agitating to have not gotten a setup or to get a confirmation there, but that's life, right? The market does not owe us a tradable opportunity. It only owes us the opportunity to sit and watch. So we can't force anything. We can't rush it. We can't try to like square peg in a round hole it type thing. Because once you start behaving that way, it starts to get like very much just emotionally driven, right? When we're like making decisions because we think that we're guaranteed a result, right? Which is what FOMO is, right? You feel like you're missing out on gains. And if you miss out on those moves, right, and then you don't make any money, it does kind of punish you a little bit. We for sure could potentially have a reversal scenario. I just didn't have the volume profile on initial 2-min candle. Maybe we have it now. So let's see how this thing closes in the next 10 seconds. Okay, fine. Reasonable close, increasing outlier volume, third largest volume bar of the day. So I have got no beef with that. That's pretty solid. Target here would be high of day, right? Pretty far away, right? It's a pretty big move. If we get to 836 here, guys, I'm going to take rest of the week off. But I don't think we'll get there. So for now, we're looking at a 523 stop loss. Now we're looking long. Right now, you're risking about, that 25 points. So I don't have the like the sizing or be able to get the sizing I want. So I can now reset this to the 3 and to be looking at a 538 stop loss. Again, we're trying to get as tight of a possible risk reward as we can get here. Reference price, we'll call it 548. Okay, now we're looking stop loss 529. Okay, too fast. Now 27. 30, 28 again, there's 27, 32, nice bounce lower off of 27. So now stop would have to be 2250. Let's call it 22. Okay, that's good elevator. So we can see if we can get a gentle pullback here now. Okay, could not get the fill I wanted there. Annoying. Try this again. What a life. No setup here on the 5-min. Didn't give me that increasing outlier volume. So waiting. We will reset this here. Still 522. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Now 511. Now 502. And that would put my reference price to be about there. Again, lower. So now it'd be 86. Yes, I'm still looking long. Guys, please pay attention. Now we're looking 465 as our stop loss. Did close as a fake out. And I would have my reference price be there approximately. Let's even get gentle pullback here. All right, guys, I am in at 60. Sorry, one sec. I'm in at 70.75. Sorry, 70.75. And I just got stopped out. Potentially try this again. Put my stop at 56. All right, so I'm back in, guys. I am back in. Execution price there was, why is my 64.75. 64.75. And this thing's a rocket ship now. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. All right, now, I mean, this thing is moving really well for us here, team, right? So I'm really focusing now on closing as PNL is increasing. 70 points, right, in 5 seconds, pretty much. I'm not going to take that gift horse and not take it in the, I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but I got to make sure I'm taking this win, right? This is a fantastic move. $80 points, guys, in one candle, right? So please don't be a greedy asshole. Make sure you're now closing as PNL is increasing. All right, that's going to be like the fastest 80 points you're going to make in your life. So please do not be greedy. Hopefully a bunch of you guys got those entries as well. Okay, so far so good here. Nice work, Eric. Nice work, Tony. All right, so I kind of want to see this thing hold 500 here, right? If it can't hold 500, then that's going to be a pretty bad sign. I need to get out. Okay, so I got to close this position here, guys. And I am out. I have exited this trade. Good little bounce back. Let's see what else we have in store here. So I definitely did not close there as my P&L was peaking, right? I did see, I'd say 30, 40% of that move, right, evaporate before I closed. But it was the right decision. Right, back to pretty much our original entry price here now. So it might set back up again for us on that same thesis, but we probably want to see a fake out again. So let's see. Okay, so now we're looking at a 44 stop loss. Let's see how this thing closes. Behaves. Reference price would be like 60-ish. Pretty big. Maybe I'd want to tighten that up a little bit. About there. Yeah. Now you're looking at a 38, 39, 35 stop loss now. Yeah, Vivek, I'm not going to show you my personal account details. That's a very nice way for me to get robbed very quickly. So no, please go through the videos in the Discord. They will explain everything that I'm doing, how I map out my trades. I give you guys everything I have. I also don't need to give you my money. So let's find that balance here, please. What do you mean it should be prop firm, not IB? I do trade on interactive brokers, Dennis. Come on, guys. Insane. Vivek, I've already answered your question, man. Stop. Just because I don't do it the way that you want me to do it doesn't mean the way I do it is wrong. So politely, man, stop. Let's go, Jake. Congratulations. Get your profit goal to get a payout. That is fantastic. I do not execute my trades in interactive brokers through TradingView. So again, guys, like these account details, how I set things up, like all this stuff, guys, is explained in 25,000 videos that I have filmed for you all to explain how I am trading, how I'm setting up my technique, where to set your stop loss, how I am doing things. You're lying to yourselves if you think you need more information than that. It is crazy. You're going to cost yourself thousands of dollars trying to chase me when that is not what I'm teaching you how to do. All right, so we're looking here again for a possible long. This continues to be my confirmation, right? In context, this again looks like a fake out. Now we're trying to find an appropriate risk reward entry to justify taking on this trade. Like I can't take this, right? It's 38 points of risk. That is not worth it. See if this thing tightens up. Might be able to get a nice entry here on the 2 potentially. Stop loss on the 3 would be at 50. On the 2 min, we might be able to get it a little bit tighter. Be like 54. So red line would be my stop loss, right? Nice work, Michaela. Good job, CD. Okay, so I'll be looking at something like this. 47 would be my stop loss. We want to see a gentle pullback into that area. Again, it's been a really good P&L day here so far. So if I don't place another trade, I'm good, right? So we can afford to be patient effectively. Okay, let's see if this holds. Nope. Okay, so we're looking at a 547. I would imagine this is going to fake out here first. Yep, there it is. So now let's see if this thing bounces from here. That's elevator down, not elevator up so far. So I don't want to try to catch a falling knife. That was much better. So now we're looking at a, all right, take that back. We're looking at a 3150 stop loss, call it 31. And this thing moves fast. Okay, so I want an entry around like 40-ish, right, or better. So 30, call it 32 would be the stop loss. And we want to see an entry, right, a gentle pullback under that blue line. Oh, 532, whoops. Gosh, that's annoying. So still in play here. Let's watch. Have one green here so far. Beautiful team. Good. Love to hear that. Good. Yeah, this 3 min might set up for us. Let's see. Love that, CD. Great answer. But guys, the reason I do things the way that I do them is because my objective is to teach you how to fish, not to fish for you, right? I don't believe that chasing is ever going to make you any money long term. The only way that you're going to make money is if you learn the strategy, right? You learn the basics, you understand the context of which we apply things, and then you take accountability over your decisions and you understand while you're pulling them. When things are moving this fast and you're waiting for me to say that I'm in a position, your entry could be 15, 20, 30 points different than mine. And the difference of that P&L could be thousands of dollars per trade. So all that's going to happen there, right, is that when we're wrong, you're going to lose a lot more money. And when we're right, you're going to make a lot less. That is a very skewed risk-reward ratio, all because you think you're doing the easier or lazier thing. Not going to make you any money long term. And I refuse to basically reward those types of behaviors for people because it will not make you profitable. So this obsession of chasing trades and chasing signals and not ever actually learning why you're making decisions is a tremendous waste of time for everybody. That's why DTR members make good money, is because they actually learn the system, they make things their own, and they apply their personality to it. That's how you become successful as a trader. You can't just blindly follow and copy people because you're going to make mistakes at different points. And if you're not obsessing over avoiding your mistakes and you're just obsessing over making money, the market will crush you. That is a guarantee. Like, everyone should know what my entry target zone is at this point, what my stop loss is. And everyone has all the information they need to make the decision that they either want to make, don't want to make, up to them. Okay, so watching here carefully. Kind of want to let this candle close, right, before I make a judgment call. Okay, let's see if we can get a little pullback now. Nice and gentle, please. That's not gentle. That's toddler temper tantrum there. Come on, pull back. Okay, so still waiting. Very, very bouncy. Okay, watching here carefully. Let's see how this thing pulls in. Nice and gentle here, right? Nice and gentle. A little bit too fast still, right? Moving just a little bit too fast. Like bouncing 5 points, 10 points, 5 points, 10 points. We don't want to do anything stupid, right? Nothing stupid. Now we're looking at like a 519 stop loss. And I'd put my reference price to be under 30. Or, right, alternatively, this thing will tighten up again and we'll get a better risk reward. Again, maybe could have gone an entry there, but I would have been stopped out, right, on that rip lower. So far, right, 1 for 2, avoided more losing trades than winning trades. I think that's fair. All right, now we're going to reset here a little bit, right? See if we can tighten up the risk reward. Okay, so for now, it'd be a 66 stop loss. I don't have a reference price here yet, so be patient. So a question for you, Roberto, right, is did you see that slow movement in the first third of the reference price entry zone, right? Because I would say no. So that would be the thing to add to your notes, right? Jumped in without seeing that slow pullback or that low pullback, got stopped out. Right? That's why you took the trade and why I didn't. So put that in your journal, right? Okay, so you're looking at a 498 stop loss here. This would be approximately my reference price, 510. We want to see a nice and gentle pullback into that area for our long. So like I said, stop loss, 498. Moving a little bit too fast here, so be patient. And now you're looking at an 82 stop loss. Now 480. Guys, I'm looking at an active setup right now. Please stop bouncing between time frames. Focus, please. Okay, 468 would be the stop for now. Again, no reference price yet, so be patient. $464 would be the stop. We want it to be something like this. Okay, now you're looking at a 62 stop loss, right? Okay, now 60. See how bouncy this bastard is? All right, see if we can get a gentle pullback here. Ah, What a dick. I don't know where you see that 5-min reversal from, Earl, right? A reversal is only off the highs, right? So we wouldn't be able to play a bearish reversal here off of the lows. That does not make sense, right? What are you reversing? Okay, so now you're looking at a 450 stop loss. Be patient. Again, we've just been dodging landmines so far, guys, right? Just been dodging landmines. I know that maybe doesn't seem like a skill, but it absolutely is. Or it's, I mean, we all probably see it as a skill. We just don't view it as sexy, right? Or as like the thing that actually makes you money. But it is. Everyone's looking for the most entries or the fanciest this or the fanciest whatever. It's not the reality. You make a lot more money avoiding your obvious mistakes and not doing dumb shit. I would say that the general feedback I have for most people is they're too committed to trying to get as rich as possible, as fast as possible. And they're not interested in just trying to fix their problems and stop making obvious mistakes. Okay, so again, we're going to look to see if we can get something reasonable here. So stop would be 449. And before we ever get this trade, guys, right, or before everything ever sets up, you guys all have all the information you need to be able to also set up this trade and be ready. I'm giving you my 10-point entry window, right? That is incredibly precise. No one else does that. You have all the information you need to know where I'm looking for my entry, what I'm looking for, and then you can figure out your own position sizing and how you're going to manage your trade. So please, guys, use the information I'm giving you. It is designed to make you more money. Just because it's different than how other people do it doesn't mean it's wrong, right? Yeah, I mean, CD, I see nothing wrong with this price action. So I don't really know how to respond to your statement there. I love trading high volatility, right? It's good. I much rather high volatile, big moving markets than slow grinding bullshit. So yeah, this is great. I don't know why I'd want anything else. Okay, again, we'll see if we can tighten up a risk reward profile here to justify an entry. Okay, still in business here. Okay, so for now, we're looking at a 515 stop loss. Be lower, probably be 500 now. Man, this is insane. I'm gonna get carpal tunnel for how much I'm moving my stop loss here. All right, so we're looking at a 480 stop loss. Call it 4. Never mind, 479. I was about to say, but that's gone without me a little bit again. And I'd want my reference price to be like there. So again, nice and gentle is what we care about here, right? Nice and gentle. Too fast, right? That wasn't gentle. Now you're looking at a 70 stop loss, 74.50, really low volume, fine. There could be your little fake out again. So now you're looking at a 7. Jesus, I can't even get the words out of my mouth. What the heck? Moving so fast. So we got 15 seconds here on this 3-min. Let's wait for this. This 1021 candle, right, continues to be my signal. So I'll be looking at something like this, maybe even a little bit lower. Stop loss would be 461 for now, 461. So let's even get that gentle pullback here. Just because it's moving fast, guys, doesn't mean we have to chase, right? We're sitting on a nice green day. We don't need to do anything stupid. Close, but no cigar. Funny when we need, it to move 5 points, it doesn't want to move. When we need it to not move, it rips 20 points. So got to fight against that emotional reaction that's trying to create. Right? No dumb bullshit here, please. It's definitely elevator up. It's just not pulling into the zone I want. Go wait, please. Be patient. Again, close, but no cigar. I mean, that was the perfect reaction, but no chance to get an entry there. That just bounced off of our blue line way too fast. Again, we need a couple point pullback here. Let's see. Nice and slow, guys, right? Nice and slow is what we want. We want to make decisions where we feel as if we are maintaining control. We are chasing price action. We are giving up that control. Don't be that asshole. Come on. Nice and gentle. And watching here carefully, right? Splitting up that, zone into 3, right? First third of the under the blue line, I'm looking for it to be a nice and controlled move. My ideal entry is kind of in that midpoint. And then if I'm, let's focus. Too fast, see, right? Save myself some hassle there. Okay, so now we're looking at a 44. Stop loss, 444. Okay, now you're looking at a 440 stop loss. Now lower. $37 it would be. If that really classifies as a fake out though, truth be told, that much better does. So far still just 1 for 2. Sitting on a nice green day. We've effectively been 1 candle up, 1 candle down, right? Since that second trade. Sounds good, Charles. Well, I would hope that, if you learn anything here, it's that P&L is kind of bullshit, right? You only make money if you avoid your stupid, obvious mistakes. And if we are pot committed to making mistakes in pursuit of P&L, we're just going to suffer. All right. So again, still looking here, potentially. Like our P&L, guys, is a lagging indicator, right? It's a lagging indicator of our ability to improve and to fix our problems. And then if we fix enough of those problems, we make a lot of money. Okay, so I'll be looking at something like this. 77 would be the stop loss, but again, it's just going to fucking run without me. Okay, so we're looking at 477 here. Man, that moves so fast, and that gives you just a microsecond. So it's like, it's not worth chasing it, right? We got to be very, very deliberate here. And just moving so fast. Okay, so now you're looking at a 65 stop loss. Yeah, 65 stop loss. Right, it drops and then it pops, and then it like traps people who are chasing that move, and then those people are getting fucked. Once those people get stopped out, right, then it makes its move. So we got to be very deliberate here. Again, we've probably had 30 setup triggers here today, and most of them have behaved like utter dog shit. So really just is about being super deliberate here and not chasing anything stupid. Because none of this price action is particularly that appealing so far. Yeah, we'll just keep resetting this, right, until we can get price action behaving exactly how we expect. If it doesn't behave how we expect, why would I want to take it, right? So in this situation, right, this 1050 candle is my setup / confirmation candle, right? It's the same one. Okay, so stop loss have to be 506. Reference price will look something like that. Okay, again, too fast. Man, it goes ridiculous. Right, and because, guys, we've seen this happen, I don't know, 30 times here today, we should be mentally preparing ourselves, right, to not have to take the first entry we feel like we need. Because every quote unquote first entry we've seen, right, or like impulsive entry we've seen would have cost you money. Like if you're not using the context the market is giving you to improve the quality of your decisions, why not, right? We got to use the information we have, assume the market's going to behave like it always has until proven otherwise. And right now, our always have is that it's going to be a whipsaw disaster that wants to trap as many people as possible. So if I know that it's a trap, right, or it's behaving as if it's a trap, why would I want to be in a rush to jump into that? Right? Make it easy for yourself by reminding yourself these things because they don't feel obvious in the moment, but that is the reality, right? Sounds good, Roberto. Green on the day? Sounds good, big dog. Okay, so 464 possible stop loss now. Reference price would be like that. Well, let's see. Good bounce. It's good bounce. Again, right? How many times have we seen this pattern repeat so far today? Quite a few times, I would say, right? So we're looking at a 55 stop loss now. Okay, now lower 45. Now we're looking at a 42. And I can't chase this at this point. So no reference price here yet. Like we kind of have, just to move this for a second, this is a possible stop loss location, right? This is a possible and this, and now we've made a new low, breaking out through low of day. Now we're getting a setup here for a downside move, right? We've broken out outside of that range on increasing outlier volume. So let's see if this candle can close right under this blue line pretty much. Nice work, G-Money. All right, so in this context, right, we'd be targeting a move towards 24,300 because we've gotten through 24,400. Which 100 points, I mean, does not feel like much today. Okay, so 414 stop loss it would be for now on a short. Let's see. And it might have to be higher for 18 now. I'm gonna go reference price like there. I'll actually go a little bit higher. I'll go like there. Okay, try this on the 3 potentially. So 397 would be your stop loss for now. Let's see it fake out. Gosh, this thing is temperamental. So 408 we're looking at here. Stop loss. Let's see. It might not hold. Motherfucker. All right, 420. Nice. Let's see. All right, let's see. Nice and gentle is what we're looking for, though, team, right? And assume it's going to try to trap you. You don't have to chase that first feeling. You know, it was too fast of a pullback into 414. No chance at that entry. So continue to be patient, please. A little bit too fast again, right? Like it's absorbing those price action. And fast is not necessarily the speed at which it goes because that's a perception. It's the numbers that it's jumping, right? So it's jumping from like 402 to 408 in one tick. That's not exactly smooth price action. Now you're looking at a 432 stop loss. I put my reference price higher. Okay, watching. Not the appropriate time for that question, NYC Pug. I'm looking at an entry. Not the appropriate time, please. Guys, right? Reminder, stream rules. No questions about general strategy concepts, right? Like basics that are described inside the Discord when I'm within a minute of looking at an entry. All that does is cost people money. So please, guys, be respectful of other people's ability to focus. All right, repeated offenses will result in an immediate ban. Understood? We are here to make money. We are not here to fuck around. There's a very big difference. And I take that extremely seriously. Clear? It's a yes or no question, guys. I'm not here to hurt your feelings or anything along those lines. I honestly don't care. I'm here to make you guys money and to make me money. That's it. That is the only focus. Everything else is a distraction and noise. So stop. Stop with that stuff, guys, right? Focus, focus, focus. If you want to be a profitable trader, it requires a level of intensity that sometimes is not shown in here, and that is very disrespectful. And if you don't like that I'm intense, tough shit, but trading is not a game that can suffer fools. And I care about it too much to not take it seriously. So if you don't have that same level of intensity and focus, sorry. But it is what is required to be profitable. Okay, now we're looking at an upside, right? Move. We had a failed breakdown there. And then that failed breakdown was confirmed with increasing outlier volume. We're looking back for a move here. Now, the problem, right, is effectively since 10 a.m., we're not really moved, right? So it's a high volatile chop, and we're nicely green on the day. So I don't know if there's too much reason to do anything else, right? As we'll be looking at something like this. Or 63 would have to be the stop loss. Again, seems unlikely that it's going to give me that entry. Oh, fucking hell today. Okay, let's tighten it up. Okay, so looking at like a 495 stop loss or 497 stop loss. Again, outside now of our reasonable range here. I'd want it like there as my reference price. And this is a long, right? This is a long. Okay, let's see. Possible fake out scenario here again. Now looking at 496. All right, guys, and I am in 507.25, kind of a shitty entry. 507.25. Let's see, it might be a retest here. Because it's an entry above my reference price, I am going to close. All right, I'm out. She just took 2K out of that. That's kind of crazy. So let's try this again, but that was a bad entry price. So I'm not going to get pot committed to that, right? With that bad entry price, right? That then made me exceed my risk management rules. So I had more risk on that trade than I know I'm theoretically comfortable with. So I would rather reset, try again. I mean, a bit of a happy accident, right? But that was a good outcome from a bad process, right? I.e., I chased my entry. So I don't want to reward myself for that. I want to get out, get impartial, and try again. That was a nice win. Again, right? Like if I have strict execution rules, like my rule here is I want to get an entry better than my reference price. That's a binary, right? Either I get that entry or I don't. If I don't get that entry, then I made a mistake. And if I made a mistake, why would I hope that I get bailed out? The two wrongs don't make a right. So let's see. Now we're looking 595, I guess, as a stop loss here potentially. And again, this probably would have stopped us out on that little pullback there. So again, right, fighting back against your greed and not hoping that you're going to get lucky prevents you from making dumb mistakes. So good decision. But yeah, sloppy entry. But we'll try again, no big deal. But when you catch yourself making a mistake, you don't hope you get bailed out. You get out so you can get impartial. That's it, right? I got a significantly worse entry than I wanted there. I mean, not significantly, but 10% worse than what I wanted, right? Maybe a little bit more. So why would I want to pay above sticker, right? So we're looking at something like this. Again, probably expecting it to still make a lower low prior to it ripping. So let's see. Okay, there's that possible lower low. Yep, there it is. Right? We've seen that happen a million times here today. So it's not a surprise. Easy to know that was coming. Okay, now you're looking at a 519 stop loss, right? And I would say reference price about that 29 here or better. So again, now watching here pretty carefully. Too fast, too fast. Now it would set us up now to 504 as a stop loss. Pretty low volume, so I'm not too worried about the shape of this candle. All right, so now you're looking at a 494, we'll call it. Okay, now I'm worried about this volume, right? Okay, fine. Higher high, lower low, indecision, not ideal. So again, we'll wait. Yes, maybe we could have made money, but the most likely outcome there would have been getting stopped out. So 2 for 3 on the day here so far, sitting on a pretty penny. Kind of just effectively scalping away here so far. Have one green. Beautiful. Good. Good to hear. And again, not a day that's necessarily been the easiest to trade because of how fast things are moving, right? That creates an environment where it's very easy to create an emotional reaction, right? Because the dopamine is firing at, all cylinders effectively. Nice work, Tony. Yeah, we're just looking to try to find the right appropriate risk reward ratio. If I don't get it, guys, strong day again, right? Again, some mistakes for sure. I'm not hiding from those. But strong day. So let's see. We'll be looking at a 544 stop loss for now, but I think we all know that's very much subject to change over the next 5 seconds. This market's got a personality of its own today. How's everyone's mental capital? Everyone's still feeling sharp? Okay, still looking here. Yeah, everyone's still feeling okay? Good. All right, so we're looking at a 549 stop loss, call it 550. Again, might not be able to get it. 20 seconds on this next one. Oh, temperamental price action here today. Usually I'm the volatile one, not the market. Okay, so let's see again how this behaves. Not super fantastic so far. Truth be told, I don't have too much more time that I can sit and trade this morning, guys, because I got in really late last night. I wasn't able to go pick up my dog from my dog walker or dog sitter. I do have to go grab them before 9 a.m. here. Now, they're not far away, but I do have a little bit of a shot clock. Bear with me, please. Okay. So pretty good little inside bar there. You're looking at a 77 stop loss. Again, this thing runs so fast. This is purely a day that it's rewarding basically like buy at candle open entries, right? Or buy at candle close entries. That's a little bit frustrating when we're using the fake out entry technique, but you don't want to change your entry technique in the middle of a trading session. That's a very emotional decision. Yeah, I think we've had a pretty good first day back here, Kiki. Yeah. Feel pretty good about controlling my dopamine. So it's been a good day here so far. It's crazy what a little bit of like a little bit of time off, right? Like clearing your head, getting a little bit of separation away from the market allows you to be so much more deliberate and in control with how you're trading. So easy like to trade until you're burnt out, and because it's fun, you don't really realize you're burnt out. And then next thing you know, you're fully on tilt and your life is falling apart. Yeah, pretty good close again. I had days like 870 or whatever. Okay. Still 200 points away. Feels insane to say that. Oh, why is this? All right, so we're looking at a 602 stop loss for now. I'm not reference price about there. Looking for 10 points of risk, pretty much. Love that, Leia. Congratulations. All right, 602, guys. Be a stop loss here. Again, doesn't look like it wants to give me the entry I'm craving. So we'll reset this to the 3. We've got increasing outlier volume, right? We're fine. Okay, so me. Every trade here today. Insane. 624, or every move, I should say, not every trade. Most of my trades have been pretty good. So I'd be looking something like that, right? 624 would be your stop. Oh. I think price action is trying to take us all into the insane asylum here a little bit today. These rips are freaking violent, and they're always without us, it seems like, or always without behaving exactly how we want them to behave. Probably a better way of phrasing it. So again, right? I'm not trying to make decisions to be as like I'm not optimizing for P&L here, right? I'm optimizing for following my rules and sticking to my process, because if I do that, my long-term P&L gets to where I want it to be. If I start making decisions here on an intraday basis, basically just like chasing a number or chasing a feeling in the hope of P&L, my short-term results are always going to punish me and prevent me from getting that compounding effect that one needs to actually be pretty consistent. Yeah, this thing's really wanting me to chase today. And I'm very happy I haven't, but goodness gracious, the temptation is something fierce. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, there was, that website is called, I think it was called like Ashley Madison or something along those lines. And it was basically like Tinder for people who wanted to cheat on their partners. And so if you ever took a trade where you cheated one of your like your entries, like the feedback we would always get from our PM was like, that was an Ashley Madison entry. You cheated yourself. Okay, so possibly a 39 type stop loss could be in play here. Okay, so now it'd be 37. And reference price, got like there, be conservative. Okay, so we can get a gentle pullback here now. This motherfucker. Oh, every move. It's doing the same thing on every single candle. It's crazy. I would probably give this like a little bit of an extra buffer. We'll call it the 36 stop loss. What a life today, though. What a life. Okay, so we're looking at a 650 stop loss now. Oh, wrong. Oh. All right, come on. Nice and gentle here. 651 would be the stop, guys. 651 would be the stop. 10 points of risk. All right, so I am in 657.75. I just got stopped out. Things fucking bouncy. This might be trying again, though. Potentially try this again. That'd be 47 would be the stop. Too fast. Better. Damn it. That's such a mean shakeout. All right, one more try here. Oh, if you can't laugh, you gotta cry. Okay, so back in business here. 47 would be the stop loss. All right, guys, I am in 59.50. $659.50. Stop loss 47. Don't like that. Okay, took the stop again. That's fucking annoying. Okay, one more potential crack at this. Something like that. Okay, guys, I am in 44.75, 644.75. Perfect. All right, this thing's moving now. Yeah. All right. There we go. So there's another 1,500. Let's see if this thing still got some juice. Ooh, did not like that stuff. Okay, have to close this, guys. Have to close this. That's a terrible rejection. So I am out of this position, guys. I am out of this position. I will potentially try again here. That went up $1,000, up $2,000 to $500 in like 5 seconds. It's a little bit too much chaos. So I'm going to take my $1,200. Try that again. I just paid for the 2 previous attempts. Been annoying. Sitting on about 3,400 here on the day. And it's a working man's 34. Everyone still green? Perfect. Okay, so watching here, still have another chance. 559 potentially here, stop loss. I would say reference price around there. This dick. That's so ruthless today. Oh, it feels like it's one of those days where, like, if the variance was just like one little difference to the other side, you know, we're probably all up like 20 grand today. And yeah, here we are, just big P&L day, but it kind of feels like we're fighting for scraps. It's a weird sensation. No, it's not been a boring day whatsoever. It's been a lot of fun, but it's like yeah, it's giving me gray hairs a little bit. And we can now possibly look for a little rejection here, breakout from the opening range, targeting the low of day. Pretty extended move there to the upside, technically increasing outlier. So I'm going to do that. You're looking at a 49-ish as a stop loss, call it 48 as a stop loss. Nice work. All right, so now 53 would be the stop. I hate how this is bouncy. Now we're looking at a 64 stop loss. We want reference price to be, this is going to go into the 70s, I reckon. Maybe not. Okay, so 665 would be the stop loss. We're looking at a short here, right? We're looking at a short. We want a nice gentle pull. There we go. Let's see. Nope. There's 81. All right. Now you'd be looking at like this type thing. And let's see. Nice and slow here, please. Saw 68, but not enough. Just touched it. A little kiss. All right, guys, one sec. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Dog just showed up here. All right. Oh, what's the time? Ooh, how's everyone feeling? Everyone feeling okay still? I appreciate that, Michaela. It's a pretty good day, all things considered. All in 35, 49.03. Not a bad session. And this chaos is maybe getting a little bit too chaotic. I reckon I'm going to call it here, guys. Any questions? Thank you, Leonard. So my setups, right? I've got two setups. Either a breakout away from the opening range or a reversal off of the lows, right? So where's my document? There we go. Why isn't it available? So what are my setups, right? Setup is breakout from the green box or breakout through low of day or high of day, or the other setup, right, is a failed breakout. So failed move through low of day, failed move through high of day, and then reversion back to the mean. So those are my setups, right? So how do I switch my bias? Well, if I get a breakout, it should close as a breakout through the opening range on increasing outlier volume, right? And it'll hold that. If it doesn't give me that opportunity, then I know the opposite of that is a reversal scenario, right? Or a mean reversion. And then if I get something that's inconsistent, then I just cycle through the time frames until I see a story that gives me that consistency. That makes sense. There is a document in the trading docs, NYC Pug. It's called ORB Logic. Look at that, right? So I'd go search that up and you will see all the setups we trade and the criteria that we're looking for. Any other questions here, team? 3 for 6 on the day. All right, guys. Any questions? Any questions? Hey, thanks, Audrey. Congratulations. Enjoy your holiday. All right, everyone. Well, same deal like always. Right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, looking forward to the 15 one-on-one calls I have here today. So hopefully you guys are sharp, ready to go. I'll see you guys tomorrow.